When their battles are over, that's when our battle begins. There are no crowds to cheer us on. But still, we keep on fighting in our unsung battle against the Kaiju.
Emergency Kaiju alert! Emergency Kaiju alert!
All units, open fire.
Damn, now did it come to this?
But he's got his sights set on the defense force.
Clinging to a dream at my age. Pathetic.
None other than Captain Nina Ashiro.
One day, I'll join the defense force. Let's wipe out all the kaiju together.
If we're together, I'll never be afraid. Let's go.
You should seriously think about joining the defense force.
You're right. So yeah, I'm gonna give the defense force another... Huh?
Hold on, sir! We have to get out of here, sir!
Damn it.
Bring it! I ain't scared of you! Damn you!
I'm not giving up. I gotta keep going and stand by her side.
I'll back you up, sir. Alrighty, let's do it.
Hikaru Shinomiya. My hobby is hunting kaiju.
No one's survival is guaranteed.
I'll put you down without a second
I will
thought.
defeat them.
I won't give up.
I'll eliminate them.
I am not giving up no matter what!
Kaiju number 8. This kaiju, the latest to receive a codename from the Defense Force, remains at large.
And Big Eyes Podcast is back. Welcome, guys, to another episode. We're still at Summer at Kame's house. Is this technically episode 213? Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Bonus episode 213.5.
At this point, I'm done counting episode numbers. I'm gonna leave that up to Mills. And as always, I am joined by the immaculate AD. How you doing today, bro?
Hey man, I'm good. It's been a great weekend. A brother's birthday was on Friday. Metro dropped an album. It took me back to high school. I felt young again.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he loved that. Listen, I listened to it. It was a good album. I know it's different for you though. Like, once again, I think the reason why I like it is because it definitely brought that regional feel back.
Yes.
I feel that we've been missing for a very long time, and especially if you're from Atlanta.
Bro, let me tell you something, man. Like, because it put me into two perspectives. Well, three, because of the regional thing. But also, like, I've been asking for mixtape DJs to come back for so long, and it just brought that feeling back. It restored the feeling that you got the hood rich, you know what I'm saying? Metro Boom, like all the different tags, bringing the beat back, you know what I'm saying? We don't get that no more, man. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But also, it's just, with Atlanta artists over the years going through so much, a lot of deaths, Scooter, Trouble, Takeoff, Rich Homie Quan, Bankroll Fresh, like so many people have just been, getting, rest in peace to all of them guys. We just needed this. No more death, no more killing. They just wanted to bring the fun era back. And so I'm happy that all those guys who are still around, brought this project together. So I really appreciate Metro for that. I just had to get that take off.
Man, for sure. No, it's different for you though.
Yeah.
Like that era, that thing, and it's obviously, once again, it was a nationwide phenomena. It wasn't. I think that was the best part about it, is that you could see its influence everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I know that being in that scene, being in that region during that time, and then Metro restoring that feeling again, and like you said, like it's I like the tape though. Wasn't bad. Wasn't half bad.
Yeah.
But no, we're back here. More manga talk. Apologies once again, missing an episode.
Yeah.
But we're back. Anything you've been reading outside of this lately? I've been trying to get back in the reading game, and it's been okay. My thing is this, and it ties into what we're talking about. We're talking about the ending of Kaiju number 8. I'm not seeing another star right now.
So,
at least for Shonen Jump, and I'm gonna keep it very Shonen Jump today because obviously in Shonen Jump, but like right now I'm looking and I'm reading and there's some good stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I can't seem to pinpoint another star for Shonen Jump right now.
Yeah, to be as pivotal and at the pinnacle to where like, the next big thing. Of course, everybody is on Kagurabachi, right? And we'll get to that one at some point.
That's
But
actually next. That's our next one, right?
It is?
Yeah, it's our next one.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. Damn, man.
Was it Sakamoto?
I think it was Sakamoto days. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Don't listen to me, guys.
Nah, cause you had me like this too. This is what you get for missing a couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, this is for real because I'm sure Sakamoto was supposed to be this week because it returned, and then now we're, well, skip it. But yes, like there's some once again outside of the long-standing one, Sakamoto's still running good. Kagurabachi, I need to get back into it.
Akane Minashi still going strong. But like you said, there's still like not a new hit. But like I want to get into some of the newer stuff. Like I've been reading Exorcist Kiyoshi. I think that one's pretty good. It's not like overly amazing, but I think once we get to that one, we could talk about it. I think the biggest one is Ichi the Witch, which a lot of people seem to love. I've been tapped into that one. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. But it's nothing that's like just.
I haven't read Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi yet. I'm seeing Shinobi Undercover.
Yeah, I haven't really read that one.
Trying to think. I know you said Ichi the Witch, but yeah,
I've read
New Exorcist.
I've read that one. I don't like it. You'll rarely find me saying something that I don't like, but that's one that I probably hate the most out of anything that's lasted this long. But I think that because it's lasted so long. I think it's about 100 chapters now. Clearly, Shonen Jump thinks it has some type of value, and the art is not bad. I'll say that's one thing, but the story, nah, I don't see it. Which
we got
has been for a while.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not seeing anything right now that's carrying it. But also, do you think that now? I feel that things are getting so rushed to anime adaptation at this point that it's kind of just like as soon as something catches some traction, maybe there's some some buzz, they're pushing a either a mangaka's next work or someone who was an assistant who's doing their first work under some like it's more so like people are looking for the hype before the manga drops just so we can push the anime adaptation at this point.
Yeah, they're really trying to like get the pipeline, like try to invest into whatever the pipeline is. Because I know Shonen Jump has like the manga school or whatever that Blue Box came from. And then, like you said, all the assistants. We got all the assistants for Fujimoto. They're probably getting an adaptation of something by now. It's just interesting to see, and I don't fault like the fandom for this at all because people are trying to like pick up the next big thing. But it's also like everybody's rushing to figure out what it is out there that they can get to first so that they can put somebody on first. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just a lot of the how can I say this? It's just really weird, man. Like seeing so many people get into anime and manga and try to figure out, okay, I want to be tapped into this. Let me figure out what's next up. Instead of just like actually reading something and just like trying to find the story for it. But that also ties into the fact that like Shonen Jump be cutting stuff. So, you really can't even tell for real what's gonna last as long as it will. Because
Yeah.
there'll be like something that come out probably like a good 4 or 5 chapters in, it might seem decent, and then all of a sudden, that shit out the window by chapter 20. So it's
Yeah.
just
It's crazy because that wasn't always the case when it came to anime adaptations and mangas. Like the anime adaptation was historically, the anime adaptation came to push manga sales.
exactly.
Like that's typically how it went, and now I feel it's the complete opposite. I feel like manga's now is like this feeler of, okay, I like this story. Let's see how much, you know, um popularity or how much, online presence or how much presence can we get this so we can immediately push this to an anime adaptation.
And I'm gonna need Shonen Jump and Shueisha to understand, like, because manga and anime is global now, and I think they're starting to see it because they start to I think simul publish a lot of the Shonen Jump Plus stuff with translations or whatever like that. Even though I think they're starting to use a little AI, you know what I'm saying, and try to get the pipeline going. Um, but just understand that like there are readers overseas and everywhere else that are fans of some of this work. So I would say leave it up to the writers and the authors and the mangakas to, you know, whatever story that they want to tell, just give it a little leeway. Now, understandably so, for like the physical weekly Shonen Jump that people got to go into the stores and buy because we don't get them over here anymore, and they'll probably like be tariffed to hell if they ever decide to do it. Um, but like for everybody in Japan, you know what I'm saying, they gotta print it out on paper, and they gotta, go out and actually buy them at the stores. So I think they look at that a lot more for like the initial works and then go from there. But for like all the other stuff like Spy Family and stuff that don't get really published like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like let them cook a little bit, Like we're here, we're enjoying everything. We're looking for the next big thing because, you know, I see a lot of writers whenever I go to cons, like, and you'll go to cons too, right? You'll see like in the artist alley booths or whatever like that, people are pushing their own works and what they're trying to write and make their American manga. I don't know what it's called, like Manusa or something. I don't know what we could call it because but you know what I mean? Like people are actually trying to write their own stories here and get their works to be at least on the same scale as stuff in Shueisha and Shonen Jump and stuff, right? So
Yeah.
like it just goes to show how great and like how much the whole structure has grown, and I'm happy to see it, but because at the same time it's starting to feel a little oversaturation. People are just trying to figure out what they can tap into, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's I mean, I think this goes with a lot of um I think this goes with a lot of just how media in general is consumed now. It's always like, what's the next big thing? It's either
Mm-hmm.
completely mid or it's the greatest thing to ever touch this planet. They're either the next big thing ever. And I think, like you said, like we're not getting to a point where we're kind of letting things flesh out or play out, or there's this kind of instant gratification that um I think publishers and readers and fans are looking for. And now it's like, like I said, like now you're kind of looking at Shonen Jump, and I'm looking at these things, and I'm just like this lineup outside of the ones that have been there for a minute. I'm like, I can't see anything right now that's really drawing my attention.
Yeah, there's nothing there that feels like it should be the next Jujutsu Kaisen. You know what I'm saying? Nothing gives me that feeling of My Hero or anything like that right now. Like,
Yeah.
granted, I know we're in a new era, but I don't see that yet for anything right now.
You know, and I think like too, I think it was a report earlier this week that came out about the um Netflix's increase of anime watchers. Like it's been the fastest growing genre on Netflix, and it's like 3 times the next genre. Um, so as anime watchers, once again, I think it has been the big shift. Is like now everyone's watching anime, so now they're just like, well, we need more anime now. Like, everybody's watching everything now. We need more anime, and so now we're getting just so many adaptions of things. And it's like great, but for the people who are actually reading, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if reading is also getting an uptick. That's something I would like to see numbers about or something about. But it's like, all right, are we getting an uptick in readers also, or is it a thing of we're just like, okay, let's whatever right now is seeming is getting the most attention. As soon as it feels like as soon as it hits 50 chapters and it's still consistent, they're like, fuck it, green light it.
Yeah. We can get at least 12 episodes out of it.
Yeah, like if we can get 12, we're in a good space,
I think that's also a really good thing because because we also got to be concerned about mangaka's health and everything, because a lot of the times we got writers that'll go on break or go on hiatus for long periods of time and don't hear words from them or nothing like that, right? And, I think that also plays a factor into why there's so many series that they gotta shift their attention to because the mangaka just aren't able to write as much. So it's like, okay, shit, we gotta fill the void somewhere. Like, take your time. Be concerned about your health, but you know what I'm saying, you only got so many sick days, boy.
Man, listen, SJ, you putting them through the ringer.
Oh man, the only person who I know who got unlimited PTO right now is Takashi.
Oh, always. Always, for sure. But all that to say, we're here to talk about one manga that has ended that is good. And I think it fits that good middle ground that we were looking for. And I think that's okay. I think that it probably overachieved in terms, and not in a bad way. I think it overachieved in a way that I'm sure that they did not see the success that they were like pushing for. Not as like saying they weren't pushing to be successful, but it's just like Kaiju number 8 became much bigger than I actually expected it to be. The anime comes out and the anime is really good. The story reminds me very much of Demon Slayer.
Yeah, it's like one part.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like one part Demon Slayer, one part like Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I think the Demon Slayer part comes in when I'm not talking about the actual story, but of just like the simplicity of it. There wasn't too much in this story that felt like I needed so much brain power just to read it.
Yeah.
Like it flowed well. I think that I went back and listened to that episode that we did when it first came out, and one of the big things that me and you talked about was, we're finally getting a main character that's in an older realm, someone who was 27, kind of making this like, mid-career pivot. So it's, I think a lot of it was able to be geared towards older fans, older readers. But I think the action in it and whatnot is easy to kind of draw in that younger crowd. Like it was very well rounded. And like I said, like the storyline overall, when you talk about Kafka and his, him, having this power to transform into a kaiju, and like even the reveal of him being that like came so quick.
Yeah.
Like it was like what, maybe 50 chapters in, and they're just like, oh fuck it, we'll just tell everyone where he is.
Yeah, yeah. I think that that's the best thing about this is like you said, it's not really like a complex story, but the characters drive it a lot more. It's a more character focused thing. So like with Kafka being an older person and seeing all the people around him younger who have more talent than him, and meanwhile he's just trying to figure out, can I still keep this promise to my childhood friend, and all the things that go into that. It's something that should resonate with a lot of people who may or may not be where they are in life. And it's a story of don't give up on your dreams. It may not have been the way that you wanted to get there, but if you don't give up, there's going to be a way for you to get to where you're trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the best things about, at least with the last few chapters, Kafka having a conversation with his childhood self and saying, it wasn't the best way, but I at least was able to keep my promise. I didn't let that go away. You know what I'm saying? So I think that like with that, um with his story, seeing all the different characters like Shinomiya, and her story with her father, and the revenge plot there, but also trying to become an upstanding and powerful fighter like her mother. Reno being the young talent to come in, but he starts off like as an intern with Kafka and giving Kafka the motivation to even go into the defense force. Seeing all the different characters and how they interact with each other and push each other, even though they're older. You know, seeing all of that play out. Even the one guy, I think his name is Iharu, who was supposed to be the most talented person. He was like a Bakugo like character, but seeing that Reno came in, he's younger, surpassing him, and it's like, damn, bro, like I can't give up at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these characters, there's a character in here that can resonate with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like just seeing all of them play out, and um just the underlying character of the parasite, like the kaiju that actually that Kafka ingested, that whole plot with the history of the kaiju and how they relate to everything that's happening now, and their regrets, all the things that they were fighting for 400 years ago. I think that this entire
That
plot
was
is
definitely something that I wish was introduced sooner, and that they were really able to flesh out.
yeah. Yeah, that's probably one of the bigger things. Like, just we didn't get a lot of like the past, like seeing where all the kaiju came from. Because here's the one thing that I'll say about it's 129 chapters, right? The final battle starts around like chapter 68. That's half the story, pretty much. That's the final battle is literally half the story, and I think that's the biggest thing for a lot of us who are reading it. We can't say weekly because it wasn't coming out weekly, and even this series took breaks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Um,
yeah, bro, we were definitely get tons of color pages. He was
yeah,
like, "Here's some pretty drawings for you. See you next week."
they were hard. I ain't gonna hold you. I
Oh
wasn't the
man,
point.
y'all, the one that he did for the volume 8, that poster.
Yeah.
Whoever got that, holla at me. I need that off you.
Nah, he made some good ass wallpapers, bro. Like I'm sure everybody would screen. I definitely screenshot a couple of them, use as phone wallpapers, dog. Cause like he was cooking with the pen. Um, like I can appreciate somebody who like even on their off weeks they say, you know what, I know we're gonna be a little late. Here you go, take this. And that's another thing about Kaiju number 8. It was like one of the first series that actually started doing like color pages in the chapters. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man, I really wish he had more, but I really wish that he did more use of the color throughout this.
yeah, because he stopped early on.
Yeah, but dog, I wish color was a little bit more utilized in this manga. It fits so well, especially when Kafka's in his kaiju mode.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Like
yeah.
that color would pop. Just the blue. It doesn't even need to be too much. Just the blue with the black and the white and the gray. Oh, bro. Would have went crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing. Like, it's funny when I'm thinking back to like the conversations that we would have, and I would see some of the conversations online about when the anime was first going to come out, and people are comparing the color pages to what the anime art looked like, and everybody's like, nigga, Kafka look goofy as hell, bro. What the hell is this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I think the anime even did, like, it was anime of the year contender last year, you know what I'm saying? So like it definitely stood up to what the complaints were, and because we already know the story, I think that the anime even pushed it a little bit further and gave it a little bit extra life to a lot of the pages and scenes. Because it's just one of those series that, like, I think anybody can pick up. I wouldn't say anybody, but like older people can
No,
pick up.
I definitely believe that this is a good entryway manga.
Yeah.
Like, this is a good, if someone wants to be like, oh, what manga should I pick up first? I'll be like Kaiju number 8.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not too long. It's there's not so much going on in the storyline. They actually do a really good job of fleshing out the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shoot, even there's moments and times where like Kafka's off screen
Yeah.
for
And
a
we
couple
focus
chapters.
on other folks.
We focus on other things and their stories and their battles, especially like the people that he was coming up with, Division 3. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you start kind of seeing everyone else's internal like motivations and what's trying to push them to get there and what they had to go through. Um, the interaction between certain characters and who's pushing who and whose dynamic is with who. Like they did create a nice feeling between that.
Yeah.
Um,
I
you
would
know,
even go as far to say, like, if you aren't a fan of anime and manga, but you're trying to get into it, I think this is the perfect one to start with. This doesn't have that weird anime feeling, like, the fan service where niggas gotta, when you watch certain anime, you feel like you gotta close the door behind you, make sure nobody else is watching, because they like to be on some weird shit, a little sexual tension, whatever. Like, this has none of that. This is just straight action, character driven moments, uh, motivation through the plot and everything like that. There's nothing that I think could turn somebody off of this story if you went into it right now, especially for like, for us who have read it weekly. I think people need to actually go back, sit down, and give it a proper read again. Because, like, there's a lot of times where the chapters aren't even as long as like a standard chapter is. Like, they'll be a little bit shorter, so it'll be a quicker breeze to get through. There's not that many arcs. It's literally not that many arcs at all. It's
it's
probably,
not like even the final battle. So okay, I understand that the final battle was very long winded.
mm-hmm.
However, they really did split it up on some like multiple final bosses shit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, I it wasn't like, once again, the Demon Slayer thing where it was like hack and slash with Muzan for
Like 10 chapters.
like what 10, 15 chapters of nothing really happening but just, someone just spamming square,
Yeah.
spamming light attack. That's all that was happening. Like, that was
Like, for this one, I would say it makes sense why, like, the final battle with, like, it's not Kaiju No, it's like the Meriki Kaiju that fused with him. I think that one took a little bit longer, but that's because it was everybody coming together for the final battle. Like, I don't even think we knew that it was going to be the final battle, but like, because of how much it evolved at that point, I think that it just so happened to need everybody, all hands on deck. You know what I'm saying? All the major players come in, Hoshina come in, Narumi come in, Reno come in, you know, Mina come in. Everybody needed to actually like play a part. Like all the major characters need to actually take a hand in that. And that's one of the best things about it, where Chief Shinomiya, he plotted for this, where he was like, you know, we're getting older. All the people who are here right now sitting at this round table when we were plotting to take Kafka in and, you know, determine whether or not he's a threat to the defense force in Japan altogether. We gotta be prepared for any other kaiju that may pop up who are like Kaiju number 9. We gotta do whatever we can to prepare all of these people for imminent threats, because we're getting older. We can't really keep protecting them as much as we would like to. We gotta train them as much as we can, make them as strong as possible so that they can protect the loved ones that they have to. Because, you know, the whole story with him and his wife and how she died to the kaiju and everything, that was one of the more important moments in the story. I'm not going to say like, you know, heartfelt. It was, but, you know, I think it's a deeper plot point to push all the different characters for his motivation, like even to his end when the kaiju is beaten and he saves Kafka. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that was important in itself to show like, hey, I'm passing the torch. Like, and I think that's the biggest thing about this story. It's like a passing the torch, coming of age type of story, you know, where people are, you don't realize it because everybody's, you know, when you're growing up, you just think like, man, you know, I'm really trying to be, you know, mom, dad, help me out. I'm trying to be just like y'all. I'm trying to protect y'all type stuff. But when you actually come of age and you're actually like being in that position to do what you can for them as they get older, you know, that's one of those themes I think that really helps drive all of Kaiju number 8 home, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Who would you feel are your favorite characters or favorite moments throughout this manga?
Shit, man. Like, I think, like, I honestly, I would say Chief Shinomiya, just because he was willing to give the chance. Kikoru is cool. You know, she's the hot-headed person out of the group. No, I wouldn't say hot-headed, but like, you know, she's like the princess. Everybody thinks that she's like a princess, but she's actually really talented. Um, but honestly, I'm gonna be basic and say Kafka, dog. Like, his journey was great. Following him to the end, like just seeing him actually make it to accomplish something that he set out to do. Like, he never gave up on his dream, you know, even though it took like a really wild circumstance to make it happen. He made the most of it and got it done. And no matter what happened, he was still willing to protect his friends and all the people around him with that power. Like, he said, you know what, y'all could take me in, y'all could kill me off if y'all want to, but like, I'm still human, dog. Like, you know, I'm gonna do what I can to protect the people around me. Like, if I see somebody that's in trouble, I'm gonna do what I can to help them out. Like, Kafka is probably top one, but other than that, like, you know, like, everybody else is cool. Who you got up there?
I fucked with Mina because she had that big ass blower.
Nah, that's fact.
Mina had that motherfucking thumper on her. I was like, God damn. And then at the end, they're like, nigga, we're about to
on
get
the rooftop?
Bro, with the beam, they're like, nigga, that was 20 kilometers away. Pierce that bitch. I was like, God damn. Yeah, nah. You know what? Shout out to this manga because they gave us strong female characters. Unlike the anime that we covered last week on the Lookout. We got some strong female characters here that were doing some cool shit. Mina, Kikoru,
Kikoru's mom.
Kikoru's mom, like, bro. I mean, shoot, the captain.
Yeah.
Like, very strong female characters that were well-rounded and also weren't on some, like, I need saving. Like, even Kikoru's moment with Kafka where she's like, listen, bro, I don't give a fuck. I can get my ass beat. Don't you dare step in. Don't save me. Don't none of that. Like, I need this.
Yeah, the best moment
for him to honor that.
Yeah. Like that's the best. That's probably one of the best moments where she's like, "Don't look down on us, nigga. Like we're also soldiers. You know what I'm saying? We don't always need your saving. Like trust us to get the job done too. You go handle your business. Trust us to handle ours. You know what I'm saying?"
Nah, for real. Reno had a good storyline. I really like Reno's. With him kind of having to get put through the ringer.
Yeah.
To get to where he was at. I got like the one big thing that I really just wanted more was that they gave us a bit of is just that backstory, like figuring out that they were like fighting kaiju's like 400 years ago with like the samurais and all that. And I mean, like it was cool. Like the Kafka flashback is really good. I think that's gonna translate really well in the anime. That flashback of him like picking up the spears that they're or the weapons they're making with the kaiju, and he was like, bro, like he's like the power I feel holding this, like I can feel it, my muscles are about to burst because that was because like they didn't have the technology back then, so they were literally making weapons out of kaiju parts.
Yeah. And that was another big thing.
Yeah. Like even with the special weapons and all that, like them having to like their bodies having to be adapted to that and how dangerous the weapons were. Hoshina had a great moment once he, you know, with him and his special weapon where the kaiju was still alive in it. Yeah. So he was able to like mentally like talk to the kaiju still. Yeah. That was a really cool moment.
How do you feel about Kaiju number 9 as like the main antagonist of the whole thing?
You know, at first, well, first of all, Kaiju number 9 has one of the greatest manga stills ever, with him being stanced up on top of the pterodactyl flying. That's one of my
actually I think that was 10.
Was that 10?
That was 10 because I had to go back to it to make sure that was 10.
Oh, well, shout out to 10 because that shit was so fire. No, I like Kaiju number 9 as a villain because all the other kaijus that you get introduced to, really, they are they're kind of just monsters. And this is like the first one that's like no like yeah, it's like this one actually had like a game plan. This one actually was able to think. This one was actually able to like put pieces on the board. Like that whole final battle was like it was very much a I have an actual plan. Like nothing here that I'm doing is just sporadic. I'm not doing chaos for the sake of chaos. Like all the pieces are on the board and I'm trying to like make this happen. And yeah, no, I think that surprisingly Kaiju number 9 became a better villain than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Like just seeing him drive the whole plot of, you know, I'm learning from humans, trying to figure out how to one up them, and it's the never ending struggle of, you know, the defense force doing the same thing. It may and them coming up with the plot of using kaiju parts to create their own weapons made it feel somewhat like the what's dude's name from Tokyo Ghoul that uses the ghoul parts?
You said what?
You know the guy from Tokyo Ghoul who makes the weapons out of ghoul.
Yeah.
You know, the never ending drive for like trying to figure out how to defeat the threat before them with Kaiju number 9, trying to figure out, okay, this is how we can utilize humans and, you know, plot to get some of these other kaiju that they have been using, ingesting them. Like I think the biggest thing about it with him was setting up the trap with after Shinomiya says, hey, you know, he fought Kafka to see whether or not he could still be human or not. But Kaiju number 9 sensed that power of him using Kaiju number 2 and was like, you know what? Let me try this out. So he sends out the decoys. for Kafka and I think Kikoru to fight. They win their fights, but it's all because it's a distraction, and he was really going after the commander, captures him. You know, just seeing his tact and cunning ability, you know what I'm saying? Like he's up there. He's up there as a great villain and an antagonist to the entire story, and in a lot of manga that you know characters that you like to see try to best the protagonist in any way. So I really liked him as like the final I want to say the final kaiju, but in the final chapter they still say that like there are kaiju that still pop up. They're still underground, they're still out here lurking. So um how would you feel about a sequel? Would you want there to be a sequel of Kaiju number 8, and what would that entail?
Yeah, no, I mean, if there's gonna be a sequel, I like to go back in the past. I would like to see like that final battle,
Mm-hmm.
or something of that sort. Like, I think that going back instead of forward will feel really good. Um, with this story, I think it could tell a really good, like different time period, Edo time period, whatever, like story with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we did get to see what's his name, the ancestor of Hoshino. I think that was Kafka's ancestor too. That was actually the larva kaiju, the parasite. I think so. So I would like to see some of those characters back then, see how they would deal with, the threats back then, the methods that they used. Even though it's going to be a tragic end, it could lead into the fact that like them putting their hopes into the future and at some point beating this kaiju. You know what I'm saying? It would be a decent, way to show how things can eventually come to fruition, no matter how long it took. They still made some shit shake.
Yeah, for sure. Well, want to appreciate everyone for listening to this Kaiju number 8 review. No, you know where to find us, the Lookout RNT. You know where to listen to us at, and you know where to connect with us everywhere that you listen to podcasts, on Twitter, on Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube. Yeah, and we'll be back. Samurai Comments House still going strong. Couple more episodes left, so make sure you still stay tuned for with everything we got going on. Thank you very much. Peace.